So, Injustice.
Of course! It is the ultimate fighting game. So realistic.
Actually, the people who made Injustice, Netherrealm Studios, just came out with a new game, Mortal Kombat X, from obviously their most known franchise, Mortal Kombat. I highly recommend it. I mean, you can...
How about you will teach me with your fists?
I would never want you to fight me, seriously. No. No. Yes. I can't take this guy out alone. Listen, if you want help... Listen. If you won't help me, I will tell the press that I was your stunt double in Citizen Cage. Yeah? Okay. No? No? Yes? Okay. Hey, bro. I actually called a friend of mine, Mr. Cage, and he'll be coming over soon to tell you about the game and, you know, show you how mature and adult it truly is.
More mature than this.
You have no idea.
Test your might. Test your might. Test your might. Test your might.
Now, to be quite honest, I have no idea where to begin since this game has so much content. I usually start out a review by talking about the story mode, but since this is a fighting game, obviously it doesn't have a Do you see these guys? Do you see this guy? These guys are the reason that I'm not able to accept so many fighters these days. I mean, these guys are giving us these AAA movie stories in the game with true motion cap and everything like that. Now, obviously, I know that there are some other fighters with story modes, but that would either be like a visual novel thing or just a really stupid one, as in Dead or Alive. I know that the fighting game is all about fighting, but damn, this story is good. If you've played Mortal Kombat 9 or Injustice, Gods Among Us, you know how Netherrealm makes their story mode. As for those of you who have never played nor seen anything of those games, the story mode of Mortal Kombat X is like a movie that lets you play out the battles, which is cool. The story has chapters that makes you play as different characters. Like in chapter 1 you will play as Johnny Cage. As in one of the later chapters you will play as Sub-Zero. Now it isn't one character, one chapter, so don't expect playing as every single character in the game on the story mode. Though since the story is more neutral based than the previous game, the previous title, it's not really good guy versus bad guy. You will also be playing as the Outworld, or the bad guys. The story of MKX continues from the last game, but over 20 years after the death of Shao Kahn. Outworld, the world that tried to conquer Earthrealm in the previous game, is in a civil war with the so-called heir to the throne, Mileena. The now Emperor of that world, Kotal Khan, has a peace agreement with Earthrealm to stand against not only the rebels, but also an evil that seems to have returned. While this plot is interesting and all, what really makes the story worth it are the characters, both from the previous generation and the new one. One of my major gripes with the previous game's story was the fact that none of the characters were likable or relatable for that matter, as they kept fighting each other just because, oh, you're so annoying, Johnny Cage. Oh yeah. But this game, I mean, they make even Johnny Cage likable. That's pretty amazing. And because of that, I really wanted to know why Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade got the divorce, and why their daughter feels inferior to her parents. Plus, since Netherrealm Studios aren't afraid to kill off their characters, I ended up on the edge of my chair every time a character were in an iffy situation. I will flat out say that this story is the best story mode that Netherrealm has made so far throughout their career. Now, I can't really find any major negative about it. Now, obviously, many people have talked about the length of the story mode, but in my honest opinion, whereas the previous story in Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 2011 or whatever, it was so long. It was so long, and it was just dragging on and on. But this story mode, which isn't really, it isn't that long. I beat it in around 3 hours. I mean, I can play that again because of how funny it was. But anyway, I digress. I was saying that while there isn't anything major negative about it, there are some nitpicks. First thing are the quicktime events, obviously. Now in Injustice, depending how there were some quicktime events in that game, the story. Depending on how you did the quicktime events, either you, the player, or the opponent would lose some health before the battle. Now here, you get these very well choreographed fights in the cinematics. The only thing different about if you push the right button or not is the fact that the fight will look different, which is pretty cool. I mean the positive, I can get to see Johnny Cage kick Scorpion's ass while you are playing as Scorpion, you know? You push the right button, Scorpion does something right, but the thing is I like Johnny Cage more than Scorpion, so obviously I can choose who I want to see kick ass. Now the negative, because they're so well choreographed, is that the right word? Because of how awesome they look, I can't really enjoy them that much because I have to wait for the next button press or the button prompt. Again, there's not really any consequence of failing, but still, sometimes I want to win them, sometimes I do not want to win them. Another nitpick with the story mode is the fact that you can't decide what variation you want to use when the game changes your character. I will soon go into what I mean by variation, but think of different fighting styles. Anyway, in one point of the story, you will play as Devora, Mrs. Bug Lady, and I know some sweet combos with her in the Swarm Queen variation. But the game never lets you play with the Swarm Queen, so I can't have a smooth experience throughout the story, as I have to push start and look at the move list at the new specials. That is definitely something Netherrealm should consider when making their next installment. As I have been using the term variation, this is the completely new game changer for this franchise. I hope. Every single character have 3 different variations that changes the gameplay style. Some more than others. For example, Reptile has a variation that turns him invisible, and another one that lets him slow down time, though his main playstyle are more or less the same. While Johnny Cage, on the other hand, has a variation that allows him to use a clone, which makes it easier to get longer combos. But his other variation, Fisticuffs, takes his combo potential away for better chip damage against blocking opponents. I just have to say, this is a beautiful idea by Netherrealm, because if you have a main character, if you have a favorite character, you have 3 different methods, or 3 different... Well, you can learn the character 3 different times over again, and once you've learned all the 3 of them, if you're playing online, then if you lose a match, then you can say, okay, I'm gonna try the different variation and try, using my character only with another strategy. So yes, there will obviously also be more time to learn every single character because of the variation, but that doesn't mean that it's easy to learn the characters. Far from it. Seriously, this is a hard game to learn. The first fight I got really good at was Injustice, and as they have a similar gameplay, MK and Injustice, I thought that learning this game would be a cinch. Boy, how wrong I was. If you haven't played MK or Injustice, then the first thing you need to do is to go to practice mode and try to get used to the controls, and I'm not going to lie, it can be quite disheartening at the beginning. But if you use maybe 2 hours with one character in practice mode and try to learn combos and how the game, feels like, you will get used to it. It is kinda hard to explain why this game is so difficult to learn, but the timing is strange when executing combos with some of the characters, so you need simply to find the character that fits best for you. Though choose the one that you think looks the coolest or whatever, whoever you prefer. You have 2 buttons for light and heavy kicks and 2 for light and heavy punches. You will also get different kind of attacks by holding down, forward and back. Combos can be all from triangle, square, circle, or something easier as square, square, square. Stage interactables are in the game from Injustice, but you can block them, thank God. The X-ray is back, of course, still only 1 per character, but holy F, look at this improvement! And 2 different fatalities.
Melina wins. Fatality.
Several different faction kills.
Melina wins. Flawless victory. Faction kill.
Quitalities for Rage Quitters Online.
Fatality.
Gotta stay sharp.
And several different brutalities for each character.
Brutality. Johnny Cage
Cool.
wins.
I mean, seriously, I'm starting to wonder how far or how much further Mortal Kombat can go on the how brutal stuff can look. I mean, this was an X-ray in Mortal Kombat 9. And this is an X-ray in MKX. I mean, now the skeleton looks realistic, and you can see these veins, and the muscles look, again, realistic. I mean, some YouTubers or reactors, people who react to stuff, has gotten sick by watching a compilation of all the X-rays and not brutalities, but fatalities and everything. And God, do I love them. The fatalities and X-rays, I like them. Yeah. Now, a lot of people have shouted out their dissatisfaction with the fact that there are no longer stage fatalities, but come on! Now we have 2 fatalities, 5 brutalities, 5 faction kills for each faction, by the way. Seriously, I'd prefer to keep what we got here rather than giving away something for the stage fatalities. But, that's all about preference, I suppose. Another thing that's all about preference are the modes, obviously, so let's just quickly run through them. We first start with one player, where you can play through the story, go to the towers mode, have a single fight with whichever opponent you want, test your luck, where you can have a match with certain rules that changes from a one-hit kill to no blocking allowed, and a very well-made training mode. Now, the towers mode holds traditional towers, that's pretty much the regular classic mode, where you can move up the ladder to fight and meet the boss, test your might, which is a button-mashing minigame, survivor mode, where your health does not fill up after a match, and unlimited mode, where you will fight enemies non-stop. Living Towers holds 3 towers that changes hourly, daily and weekly, with different challenges. And tower challenges are simply that, challenges that you can both challenge your friends with, and there's like leaderboard thingy. 2 players simply have the same stuff as single player, only that you can play with a friend, of course. The Crypt, which is like a game itself, where you can use the money you've earned by playing the game to buy costume, brutalities and art. Seriously, this mode is like a game of its own, a good game that is. Dungeon crawling your way to different areas, finding and using items to complete puzzles, and the occasional jump scare that has a QTE, and if you react fast enough, free money. And online have a lot of content. The rooms where you can join and create your own, and find any kind of battle that you want to find. Versus, where the matchmaker will find an opponent in either ranked or player, though you can't sadly choose the parameters for the opponents you want to find. In other words, the matchmaker system is completely random. So you can easily get a crappy connection without anything to do about it. Team battles, where you can go 3 versus 3 or 5 versus 5, though this mode isn't played at all by anyone. King of the Hill mode or King of the Hill Survivor, which should be obvious on what it is, and Tower Battle, where you compete against others on certain challenges. Yeah, a lot of stuff for to play with. Just a very important thing is the fact that the online netcode is good. There have been matches where I've had absolutely no lag at all, and it feels like I'm playing an offline match, which means very good. But those matches I only found on rooms where I got in there and looked for people with good ping. Whereas the most laggy matches, oh my god, it's horrible. I mean, obviously you have different endings with the brutalities, the faction skills, the fatalities, the whoosh, and the regular cinematic. But the intros. The thing is, I have always waited for a game that's willing to give us introductions for each single character, because it puts in their personalities so much. I mean, if you don't have to play the story to see their personalities, just play a single match. I mean, put Kotal Khan versus Deborah and look at the intro and see their personality right there. And I mean every single character. Every single character has several introductions with each other. There's no one single to a certain character. No, everybody has over 3, I think, maybe even 4. And some of them have even more than that. It's amazing and I love it. I mean, just have a look, a few of them. Just have a look.
How you doing, Butterface?
That'd better be a compliment.
Best I can do.
Don't speak to me ever. I just said your dad's kind of hot. Stop it!
Johnny Cage!
Don't you owe me some sunglasses?
Here is what you are owed.
Mortal Kombat X is a fantastic game. And while they do have some questionable DLCs, like easy fatalities, that's apparently a bit too expensive. I mean, seriously? Easy fatalities? Goro, which is on disc DLC. And every time that happens, by the way, the score of the game will go down 1, because that's pretty much that they've taken something out of the game. It's really stupid. Netherrealm, please do not do that. It gives you a bad name. But even with all the DLCs, it doesn't hold back the game. So, Mortal Kombat X gets a 9 out of 10. It has pretty much everything you can want. Well, this game doesn't really have anything major negative to take the score back from a 10 out of 10. It isn't the nitpicks as well. It's the reason that the entire crypt can be pushed to the side by paying real ass money. Because, well, you want all the fatalities, you want all the costumes, you want all the goddamn fatalities. And also because of Goro. As I said, if something like that happens, I will take the score down, no matter what. Anyway, I'm KingJGrim, or the King of Games, whatever you prefer. Johnny? Oh hey, where are you? Bane's...
Your destiny.
Nacho Libre.
Victory.
Nicolas Cage.
Whatever you say, Tom Hardy.
Victory. Round 1. Fight.
Jesus, costing us strength.
Voy a comer tu corazón. What? Alright. Time to get caged! Where are the particle effects? I don't know how to use After Effects or stuff like that. Plus, didn't you once tell me that you were the special effects of your films? Hi there, thank you so much for watching my video. I know that Mortal Kombat X came out a little while ago and that this video should have been out earlier, but the thing is that I've been moving and obviously there's a lot of stuff to do when you're moving, so obviously it came out a bit late. Now, if you liked what you saw, then please subscribe, leave a like, favorite if that's still possible on YouTube. I'm a bit unsure anyway. Share me with your friends if that makes sense, and if you are a bit unsure whether or not to subscribe or not, then please have a look at my other videos that you can see on the things to the right there. You can follow me on Twitter for updates and whatnot, and I promise you there will be a video out very soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm KingJGrim, or the King of Games, whatever you prefer, and I'll see you guys next time.